What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so these blue states are just getting out of hand, folks. They really, really are. Check this out. U.S. court blocks New Jersey ban on immigrant detention in core civic lawsuit. So, okay, hang on just a second. Yes, folks, you heard that correctly. This is from Reuters, by the way. I hardly ever cover any Reuters articles, but it's from Reuters, just to let you know. Yeah. New Jersey was trying to ban immigrant detention centers. Hey, blows my freaking mind. But, you know, you could call this a win for the Trump administration. I will. I mean, might as well, right? Check this out, y'all. A U.S. appeals court on Tuesday said New Jersey cannot ban the detention of immigrants awaiting deportation within its borders, agreeing with private prison operator CoreCivic that it destroys the federal government's marketplace for detention facilities crucial to immigration enforcement. That's right. Like, what are they thinking here? What, you think the federal government's just going to have to ship all of these criminal aliens that they pick up out of state? That's fascinating. I don't think they can actually do that because, for the most part, like, I understand, look, we're talking about private prison systems here, private immigrant detention centers, so it's not federal property, but, you know, it still is overseen by the federal government. It's like you can't ban the federal government, and that's essentially what they were trying to do here, is ban the detention. I just don't get it. And once again, this is just a giant virtue signal from the left. It's all fascinating, but let's keep going. This was a pretty good ruling, if you ask me. The 2-1 ruling by the Philadelphia-based 3rd U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals upholds a judge's decision in favor of CoreCivic, which operates about 70 U.S. detention centers nationwide. CoreCivic sued New Jersey after it passed a law in 2021 that threatened the renewal of a contract to operate a 300-bed facility near Newark Liberty International Airport. Privately run detention centers have come under renewed scrutiny as the administration of Republican President Donald Trump has filled existing centers to capacity amid an aggressive immigration enforcement campaign. The administration has restricted members of Congress and other officials from touring the facilities where advocates say conditions can be cramped and inhumane. Notice, once again, folks, the damn manipulation is consistent, and it's heavy on this. Oh, critics say this. Yeah, but do those critics actually go into these facilities? No, they don't, folks. I'm sorry, look, you as a critic don't just go and tour one of these facilities. And I love how they say, oh, they're restricting access to Congress. They have oversight powers. Yeah, folks, look, when there's a protest going on outside, and then you as a congressman just show up out of nowhere, did not call ahead, did not let these people know you're coming, and at the same time, they're trying to offload detainees and bring them into the facility. Yeah, I believe that is an applicable time for you to be denied access for your oversight duties. There's a freaking protest going on, and they're having to deal with security issues because they're dropping off detainees. It's fascinating. But the corporate press, they don't tell you these things. They just tell you, hang on just a second, the Republican administration over here is evil because they're not allowing your representatives to do oversight. That's what that said. It's fascinating, y'all. The administration has restricted members. Of course they've been restricted. They were fighting with cops, for crying out loud, right outside the facility. One of them got charged. The 3rd Circuit on Tuesday said New Jersey's law barring new contracts to operate immigrant detention centers violates the U.S. Constitution by interfering with the federal government's enforcement of immigration laws. Oh, I wonder how they're going to argue that. I wonder how that happens. I don't know if you could detect the sarcasm there. It's just fascinating. Like, what? Did they actually think that they could shut down an immigrant detention facility just because they made a law? I mean, look, I respect states' rights, but you can't impede the federal government, for crying out loud. Just as the federal government cannot control a state, so too a state cannot control the federal government. Circuit Judge Stefanos Bibas, a Trump appointee, wrote for the court. Bibas was joined by Circuit Judge Cheryl Ann Krause, an appointee of Democratic President Barack Obama. Fascinating. Even Democrats can be sane, y'all. Circuit Judge Thomas Ambro, who was appointed by Democratic President Bill Clinton, said in dissent that New Jersey's law only directly regulates the state, local governments, and private companies. CoreCivic's challenge has been backed by the U.S. Department of Justice under Trump and his Democratic predecessor, Joe Biden. The U.S. government, I love that, huh? They had to throw in Joe Biden on that. The U.S. government has told the court that it relies heavily on private immigrant detention, particularly to manage fluctuations in numbers of deportable immigrants. CoreCivic spokesman Ryan Gustin said in a statement, the company has played a limited but important role in U.S. immigration enforcement systems for more than 40 years and was grateful that the Third Circuit upheld the government's discretion to rely on it. New Jersey Attorney General Matthew Platkin, a Democrat, in a statement said entrusting detention to private companies poses grave risks to health and safety. He said his office is considering its next steps. Well, the next steps would be going to a higher court, right? But what do you mean poses a threat? Wouldn't that threat exist regardless of who's running the facility, whether it's private or if it's ran by the federal government? Because there are a bunch of codes that you have to adhere to as one of these facilities, right? And once again, I say this all the time. Anytime we hear any critics of these facilities say, oh, they're inhumane or whatever, no, I'm sorry. These are not like prisons, folks. They're just not, because a lot of these people, they're not hardened criminals. They haven't committed some hardened crime or anything like that. A lot of these people, they just crossed the border illegally and they got picked up somewhere and they're going to be deported, right? They're not like a regular prison. Folks, you get a lot more freedom in these places than you do anywhere else. So I would say to that, no, the standards for these facilities are much, much higher, right? It's more like it's a detention center. It's not a jail. We'll put it that way. It's about as good as you can get when you're being detained by the government, in other words, right? And they're just awaiting deportation. Right? This is so fascinating. Like, a lot of these people, they don't want to get tied up in this, so they sue to not be deported. But under Trump, you're going to sit in detention. You're not going to be allowed to roam free. So if I was a lot of these people, I don't like being detained, if you will. I would just let it roll and just go back to my home country. But, a lot of these people, they choose to stay in detention. And once again, Democrats, they latch onto this and then they try to exploit the situation that's going on with this. And it's all partisan hackery, if you will. The New Jersey Alliance for Immigrant Justice and Advocacy Group said the ruling was based on the false premise that immigrant detention is a core function of the federal government. Are you serious, my dude? Are you serious, people? I don't know if it was a dude or not. I just said my dude because I say my dude to just about everybody. It is a core function. Like, really? Securing our borders is not a core function? Immigration is the sole duty of the federal government. These people are insane, y'all. They really, really are. What New Jersey achieved through the democratic process has now been undone by judicial fiat to protect the profits of corporations whose mission is not to serve the United States Constitution, but to deliver profits for their shareholders. Amy Torres, the group's executive director, said in a statement. No, it does both of those things. They make money in the process. The core function for a functioning society such as ours is freedom. And we want the freedom to walk around and not be mugged by some criminal vagrant that came from outside of this country that entered illegally and just came here to do crimes. Right? We don't know the difference. If this person is trying to come here for a better life, which I've already debunked, that whole better life argument, that doesn't make any sense to me. If you're going to cross the border illegally, you're not looking for a better life. You're looking to exploit the system because you don't want to go through the process. That's why these people do that. They're not just looking for a better life. Don't let these people fool you. it's all crocodile tears all the way across the board when it comes to these people. They know how to manipulate people. They know how to whine and cry and make compassionate people feel sorry for them. And honestly, a lot of people, they're just too dumb to realize that they're being fooled by these people. That's all it is. It's fascinating. A U.S. appeals court in 2022 blocked a similar California law in a lawsuit by GEO Group, Inc., Core Civic's top rival. Oh, yeah, Core Civic's top rival, huh? They're not, they're rivals, y'all. Why do they include that into this article? It's just fascinating what the corporate press does sometimes to kind of fluff up the article a little bit. The same year, a different appeals court upheld an Illinois law barring the state, but not private companies, from entering into contracts to operate detention centers. Oh, fascinating that is, y'all. Well, once again, folks, the blue states, they don't want to have nothing to do with this because it's all virtue signal all of the time, right? It's like what C-SPAN kind of is. It's all government all of the time. That's all it is with Democrats. It's all virtue signaling because look at their policy positions for the most part. Like a lot of them are nuts. The stuff that they put out, like the transgender stuff, the immigration stuff, like these people truly believe. They don't tell you this outright that, oh, we want open borders. But they truly believe that because they conflate illegal immigration with regular immigration all the time. And they'll admonish the Trump administration, oh, they're detaining migrants. Well, no, they're not. They haven't detained any migrants, as far as I know, or deported at least. They haven't deported any migrants at all. It's all been criminal aliens or illegal migrants. Like, there is a difference, folks, and that's something Democrats constantly conflate. And I can't stand it. It's all fascinating, but yay, we got to win for the law and order, if you will, and immigration enforcement. I know I kind of said that weird because I was going to say something different, and I had to switch right at the last second to get to the word enforcement. I don't know what the hell I was going to say, but something different was definitely going to come out, and it almost did. But I think I'm done with this one, y'all. Y'all don't forget to smash that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new around here and you want to see more screw-ups like that whilst reading the news. It's great. But, you know, I do it all the time. A lot of times I can edit that stuff out, if you will, but sometimes I can't. That time I couldn't, unless I did, because I haven't really edited this thing yet. So this whole spiel right here I might have to edit this out too. Just kidding, y'all. Y'all have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.